So let's talk about like masculinity and what role that plays for men these days. Because of course, as we know, in our country here in Canada, it seems like masculinity is going on a steady decline, where a lot of men are either biting their tongues, scared to say their opinion, scared of being ostracized, all these different things. Even when you're in friend circles, even with women that are your friends, you can't say certain shit because they're gonna take offense to it.
I prefer not to, actually.
You prefer not to because they're gonna take offense to it, or they're gonna judge you or see you as a different character. But everyone in life has multiple characters. When I'm with a woman, especially a woman that I like or someone I'm spending time with, I don't talk to her like how I'm talking to my boys, because we have a different comfortability. So we can talk about, controversial issues and certain things, but I'm not going to bring up some of my opinions, the deeper rooted opinions that I may have, or opinions that I know will come across as contentious. Right. So I wouldn't bring up conversations that would lead to an argument or lead to like a disbelief of, the type of person I am. Because sometimes, women, when they hear you speak about certain things, again, I was saying this about on like another podcast, when you talk about certain things and you talk with comfortability about it, they all of a sudden assume that, oh, you must be okay with this. So say, for example, if we're talking about cheating here today and we said something like, well, I don't think cheating is a big deal, then you hear from it, oh, you don't think it's a big deal? Oh, why? Oh, so you must be doing so. Or if you're just talking about it in a perspective of cheating, like, is it so bad? And just having a conversation about it, a lot of the time, just because you're having the conversation, they think you lean towards one side more than the other side. Just because you left it open, you didn't say that is bad. And that's what they're waiting for you to say. So just like, it's almost like if someone's getting discriminated against or something like that, and you see it and you don't say anything, and say you're with a girl and she's like, oh, like you didn't say nothing about that guy's being like racist or something. Like, I don't really think he was being racist. I think they were just like beefing. They're just talking shit to each other. Right. But she'll be like, oh, what? Like, how come like you don't see it in the way I see it? And you're looking at it like, no, that's not right. That person's not right. But they might have seen it a different way because they're more sensitive to certain words or certain triggers. And you might be more used to hearing, like, so for me, I work in the trades. So I'm used to hearing a lot of trigger words that would trigger a regular person outside, even racist stuff. But I'm more numb to it because I've been around it. So I notice when you're around women, reason why we have to, bite our tongues is because a lot of times we have harsher realities, especially the way we speak. We talk very bluntly, sometimes very harshly, vulgarly, with a lot of vulgarity. A lot of these things are locker room talk, things that don't get really exposed to the women. So then sometimes if you come out and you have that same kind of energy, the woman looks at you like a monster, like, oh, who is this guy? Why is he saying these things? And I thought he thought the same way I thought. So I always get confused when women try to make you have the same mentality as them, but you're a man, they're a woman. How could we ever have the same mentality on certain
Well, they want to even the playing field. That's the whole purpose of wanting you to basically convert to their mentality so they can even the playing field.
I don't get that when you're dealing with someone. I don't believe that you're supposed to think the same. I don't think you're supposed to have same opinions on stuff. I think you're supposed to accept the differences between the two of you.
But I don't bite my tongue. I'm usually getting myself in a lot of hot water all the time. I'm just always, but I think people have gotten the hint that I'm just trolling sometimes. That I'm playing, like I love to play like devil's advocate.
Yeah, same.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not because I necessarily believe what I'm saying sometimes. It's just that I'm always trying to give a different perspective.
Yeah. See, but that's the one they hate. See, that's what I do, the devil's advocate. But then they're like, why are you defending that point? Like, that's such a terrible point to defend. But it's like, I'm not defending the point. I'm playing devil's advocate so you can see both sides of the equation, and then you can kind of evaluate, oh, well, put yourself in this guy's shoe. What? Maybe he was thinking this way.
Yes.
No, there could be no way he was thinking that way. And they have they're already decided on what they want to believe. So whatever you say that is counter to what they're talking about, they're going to paint you in a bad light. So I notice, you probably noticed this with talking with women, sometimes one conversation of or a wrong opinion on something can end that relationship. trust me, if we're talking religion, politics,
I think
certain things, yes, you can say the wrong word and that will be enough for a woman to be like, I can't really mess with you.
I think a lot of times I don't even be knowing what was said though, to be fair. Like, it's just like, if we're talking like I'm just dating a woman, getting to know her stages, sometimes it could be something I said and then I never know.
You didn't even know, but you already like we're talking about the ick.
Yeah.
And then it's like, why didn't she respond to me? It's like, didn't you remember when you're talking about this topic? Yeah, she already canceled you out.
But I feel like I do that too. Like,
you cancel people out for like certain conversations, certain things they say?
Yeah, like I remember I was having a conversation with somebody about video games. And they went on this rant about video games. You know what I'm saying? And people that play video games. And
a woman?
Yeah, it was a woman. It was a woman.
What was she saying about video gamers?
What was her whole issue?
Beef?
The beef was like, people, it's weird that people like to play shooting games. And I won't say that she didn't have some good perspective on it, but it was just kind of like,
what was her perspective?
Honestly, bro, I don't even remember half of it. She wanted, it was like a 30-minute, like she just,
God.
Well, 30 minutes.
You can't do anything with these women because they can't tell us
a gaming console.
It was game console. Yeah.
It was something about whatever, and I was like, okay, and then that was just enough for me to be like,
I'm out. I can't deal with that.
It's like, you know, I think for men, I don't know how y'all feel, but like if it comes to taking a date, like to date seriously and build a partnership with somebody, I really like my peace. I like stress free. I don't need, and if it's getting to the point now in my life at least, where if you stressing me out over nothing, then I don't want to.
Well, we're the same age group, so I feel the same way. If you're stressing me out on stuff that are irrelevant or they're so minuscule, I'm going to tell you, there's the door, find your way out. Because I was living my life way before you came into it. And now you're coming in here and you're dictating and telling me what I should do and what's right and what's wrong. Like, what? Am I a child for you to try and program me to behave a certain way? And this is how your etiquette's supposed to be? Like, really?
But I do think also, on the flip side, though, that I have missed out on some very quality women because of how my mentality is with certain things, of how like I'm just very much, especially because we were talking about, I'm very much now, I don't want a serious relationship, and that sometimes I'm fortunate enough, and I have been fortunate enough to come across some really quality women that really hold it down and support you and look out for you and will do things